The galaxy had known peace for 3,000 years under the Galactic Council's rule. 5 great species controlled everything: the tall, gray-skinned Dominion, the crystal beings called the Prisms, the war-loving Hunters, the ancient machine race known as the Cores, and the telepathic Minds. Together, they ruled over hundreds of smaller species with iron control. Earth sat at the edge of known space, a blue marble that the Council had discovered only 50 years ago. Humans were seen as primitive, emotional creatures. They had barely reached their own moon when first contact happened. The Council looked at humanity's violent history, their world wars, their nuclear weapons, their endless conflicts, and labeled them as a Class D species. This meant humans could trade basic goods, but could never have advanced technology or voting rights in galactic matters. Captain James Walker stood on the bridge of humanity's first real starship, the U.S. Phoenix. It wasn't much compared to Council ships, held together with human stubbornness and recycled alien parts they'd managed to trade for. His crew of 30 worked around him, keeping the old vessel running. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Colony 7, said Lieutenant Maria Costa, a communications officer. Walker's jaw tightened. Colony 7 was humanity's furthest settlement, home to 5,000 colonists on a harsh desert, world the Council had deemed worthless. Humans had turned it into a thriving farming community through sheer determination. The message played across the bridge. Speakers, screams, explosions, then nothing. "Sir, I'm detecting massive energy signatures in the Colony 7 system," reported Commander David Park from the sensor station. Those are Hunter warships. The Hunters had decided that humanity's little colony was in their expansion path. The Council had given them permission to relocate the humans. In Hunter language, relocate meant exterminate. Walker turned to his crew. Each face showed the same mix of anger and determination. "Send word to Earth. Tell them Colony 7 is gone. Tell them the Council sanctioned it." Back on Earth, Prime Minister Robert Hayes received the news in the underground command center beneath Geneva. Around him, the leaders of Earth's United Nations watched the footage from Colony 7's last moments. Children running, families torn apart, Hunter ships bombing hospitals and schools. They killed 5,000 innocent people, General Lisa Thompson said quietly. "The Council didn't even warn us." Hayes stood slowly. At 60 years old, he'd spent his life trying to prove humanity deserved respect in the galaxy. Now he understood the truth. The Council would never see humans as equals. They saw them as pests. "General Thompson, activate Protocol 7. The room went silent. Protocol 7 was humanity's last resort, the plan they'd hoped never to use. For 50 years, while pretending to be primitive, humans had been learning. Every piece of alien technology they traded for was studied, reverse-engineered, and improved. Every casual conversation with alien traders was analyzed for information. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons. It was their ability to adapt and overcome. Deep beneath Earth's surface, in hidden facilities across the planet, engineers and scientists had been working on something the Council thought impossible. For a Class D species, fleet of warships using hybrid technology that combined the best of VOV. All Council races with humanity's own innovations. "Sir, are you sure?" Thompson asked. Hayes looked at the screen, showing Colony 7 burning. "They think our emotions make us weak. They're about to learn that human anger, human love for our people, human determination, these aren't weaknesses. Send the activation signal to all hidden fleets. Send word to our secret colonies. Tell them it's time." Across human space, hidden bases opened their doors. Ships that had been built in secret powered up their engines. Soldiers who had been training for this day put on their armor. Humanity had learned from its violent past, but it hadn't forgotten how to fight. The Council had made a fatal error. They judged humanity by their technology level, not by their spirit. They didn't understand that humans had been fighting against impossible odds since the day they climbed down from the trees. They didn't understand that when you killed human innocence, when you threatened human children, you awakened something primal and unstoppable. The Phoenix received new orders. Walker smiled grimly as he read them. All hands, this is the captain. The Council just learned what happens when you push humanity too far. Set course for the gathering point. Today, we remind the galaxy why humans survived everything Earth threw at us. The war for humanity's survival was about to begin. 3 days after Colony 7 burned, Ambassador Carl Reed stood before the Galactic Council on the massive space station called Unity Prime. The circular chamber could hold 10,000 beings. But today, only the Council's 5 ruling species and their subordinate races were present. Reed was the only human in the room. High above on their floating platforms sat the Council leaders. The Dominion representative, a being twice Reed's height with skin like polished stone, spoke first. Human Ambassador, we have reviewed the Hunter action at your Colony 7. It was performed within galactic law. Your colonists were given 3 standard hours to evacuate. Reed's hands clenched behind his back. 3 hours to evacuate 5,000 people with only 2 transport ships. It was a death sentence disguised as mercy. Honored Council, Reed began, his voice steady despite his rage. Humanity formally protests this action. Those were families, children. They were farmers, not soldiers. The Prism representative's crystalline form chimed with what passed for laughter among their kind. Humans always speak of children as if they matter more than adults. Such emotional reasoning is why you remain Class D, the Hunter representative, covered in battle scars and ritual markings, growled from his platform. The weak die. The strong survive. This is the way of the universe. Your species should be grateful. We allow you to exist at all. Reed pulled out a small device from his pocket. The Council security immediately raised their weapons, but Reed simply placed it on the podium. Humanity has a message for the Council. The device projected a hologram of Prime Minister Hayes. The Council members leaned back, expecting begging or threats. Instead, Hayes spoke calmly. To the Galactic Council. Humanity withdraws from all treaties. We no longer recognize your authority. Any further attacks on human colonies will be met with appropriate response. This is not a threat. It is a promise. The projection ended. The Council chamber erupted in alien laughter and dismissive sounds. The core representative, speaking through mechanical translation, buzzed. Humanity has 40 obsolete trading vessels and 1 barely functional warship. You dare threaten the combined might of 500 worlds? Reed smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. The Council has monitored our communications, our ships, our registered colonies. You've seen everything we wanted you to see. Before anyone could respond, alarms began blaring throughout Unity Prime. The massive view, screens that showed the stars outside, flickered to life with proximity warnings. 1,000 human warships dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation around the station. The Council members rose from their platforms in shock. These weren't the crude vessels they expected. Each ship was sleek, angular, and bristling with weapons that seemed to incorporate technologies from multiple Council races, but modified in ways that shouldn't have been possible. The Mind's representative, who could sense thoughts across star systems, suddenly recoiled. Impossible. There are millions of human minds out there. Where did they all come from? Reed's smile widened. You monitored 20 colonies. We built 200. You thought our emotional nature made us weak. But human emotions drive us to protect what we love at any cost. Every family that lost someone at Colony 7, every parent who saw those images, every human across our worlds, They're all united in one feeling right now. On the bridge of the UE's retribution, humanity's new flagship, Admiral John Carter watched Unity Prime on his main screen. His fleet surrounded the station completely. A single word from him could end the Galactic Council forever. "Sir, we're receiving panicked transmissions from the Council," his communications officer reported. "They're demanding to know how we built these ships." Carter chuckled. "Humans have always been good at learning from others. We took Dominion armor technology and made it lighter. We took prism energy weapons and made them stronger. We took hunter targeting systems and made them faster. We took core processing power and made it adaptable. We took mind communication systems and made them unhackable." His executive officer, Commander Anna White, added, "And we added something uniquely human: creativity. They follow rules and traditions. We break them." Back in the council chamber, Reed activated another projection. This one showed human fleets appearing over all 5 council homeworlds simultaneously. The impossible had happened. Humanity had built a navy to rival the council's combined forces in just 50 years of secret preparation. "You have 1 hour to discuss our terms," Reed announced. "Full membership in the council with voting rights. Reparations for Colony 7. And the hunter fleet that destroyed our colony will be turned over to us for justice." The Dominion representative snarled, "You dare make demands? We will crush your primitive." Reed interrupted. "Look at your tactical displays. Really look at them." The council members checked their systems and went pale, or whatever their equivalent was. The human ships weren't just numerous. They were positioned perfectly. Every major council trade route had human vessels along it. Every military depot was targeted. Every agricultural world was within strike range. 50 years, Reed said softly. For 50 years, you ignored us. Dismissed us. Let us clean your ships, serve your food, mine your asteroids. We listened. We learned. We prepared. And now, the emotionally inferior humans hold the fate of your civilized galaxy in our hands. Asterisk, the hour given to the council passed in tense silence. Admiral Carter stood ready on the Retribution's bridge, watching as smaller council patrol ships tried to probe their formation. Each attempt was met with warning shots that demonstrated humanity's new weapons were far beyond anything the galaxy had seen. "Admiral, incoming message from the council," Commander White announced. The main screen lit up with all 5 council representatives. The Dominion leader spoke, his arrogance barely contained. "Humanity, you have made your point. We offer you Class C status and increased trading rights." "Not acceptable," Carter interrupted. The council members looked shocked at being cut off. The hunter representative roared, "You dare interrupt the council? We have ruled for 3 millennia. You are insects compared to." His words were cut short as every human ship in the fleet powered their weapons simultaneously. The energy readings made every sensor on Unity Prime scream warnings. 20 minutes remain, Carter said calmly. Full membership, or we demonstrate why human military history makes yours look like children's games. On Earth, Prime Minister Hayes watched the feed from Unity Prime while surrounded by his war council. General Thompson studied the tactical displays. "Sir, the council is mobilizing their reserve fleets. The hunters are gathering at their military base on Nexus 4. Hayes nodded. "Captain Marcus, is your strike team ready?" On the screen, a young officer in black combat armor saluted. 200 ships ready for Phase 2, Prime Minister. We can hit all hunter military installations within 30 seconds of your order. The Council didn't know that humanity's visible fleet was only half their true force. Hidden in hyperspace, waiting at precisely calculated positions, were specialized strike groups. Humanity had learned from their history. From submarines to stealth bombers, the unseen threat was often the most powerful dot back at Unity Prime. The prism representative's form flickered with agitation. You humans speak of justice for 5,000 lives. The Council has overseen peace for billions. You would risk galactic war for one small colony? Reed, still standing in the Council chamber, answered, You call it one small colony. We call it 5,000 brothers and sisters. 5,000 dreams ended. 5,000 futures stolen. That's the difference between us and you. Suddenly, alerts flooded the Council systems. The mind's representative's telepathic abilities sensed it first. No ... it cannot be. There are human colonies in systems we've never charted. There are human ships in nebulas we thought unnavigable. They're everywhere. It was true. While the Council had watched known human space, humanity had spread like wildfire through regions the Council deemed worthless or too dangerous. Asteroid fields the Council ignored were now hidden shipyards. Gas giants too turbulent for Council technology housed human research stations. Humans had thrived where others said survival was impossible. 10 minutes. Carter announced. The core representative's mechanical voice carried unusual emotion. Calculation complete. If conflict begins, probability of Council victory is 32%. The room went silent. The mighty Galactic Council, rulers of 500 worlds, had only a 1 in 3 chance against a species they'd labeled primitive just days ago. The hunter representative stood, his forearms spreading wide. We are warriors. We do not yield to threats. If humanity wants war, then he never finished. On the planet below Unity Prime, a hunter assault fleet that had been secretly gathering suddenly found itself surrounded by human ships that appeared from nowhere. In seconds, the entire fleet was disabled, their weapon systems surgically destroyed while leaving life support intact. That was a demonstration, Carter said to the stunned Council. We could have destroyed them. We chose not to. But make no mistake, we can end your civilizations without destroying a single city. We can cripple your technology, strand your fleets, collapse your economies. We studied you for 50 years. We know every weakness. The Dominion leader's stone-like face finally showed fear. What kind of species prepares for war while talking of peace? Reed answered from the chamber floor. A species that learned from its mistakes. We know war's cost, so we prepared to prevent it. But when you forced our hand, we were ready. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or our numbers. It's that we remember. We remember every slight, every loss, every lesson. 5 minutes, Carter announced. General Thompson, watching from Earth, turned to Hayes. Sir, the Council is breaking. Their subordinate races are already sending us alliance offers. They want to join humanity rather than face us. Hayes stood and walked to the communication console. Admiral Carter, Ambassador Reed, you have full authority. Get us justice for Colony 7. Get us our place in this galaxy. The hunter representative looked at his fellow Council members, saw their resolve crumbling, and did something no hunter had done in 1,000 years. He bowed his head. The hunters ... yield. We will pay for Colony 7. One by one, the other Council members accepted humanity's terms. Asterisk. 6 months had passed since humanity's fleet appeared over Unity Prime. The galaxy had changed forever. In the Council chambers, now reorganized with humanity holding an equal seat among the 6 ruling species, Ambassador Reed watched the proceedings with satisfaction. The hunter fleet responsible for Colony 7's destruction had been tried by human justice. Their commander now worked in human colonies, helping rebuild what he had destroyed, a sentence that shocked the galaxy more than execution would have. Humans believed in redemption, even for their enemies. Admiral Carter, now Supreme Commander of the United Human Fleet, stood before a gathering of military leaders from all Council species. The Dominion General, Stone Commander Crack, studied the tactical display showing human fleet positions. Your ship's patrol sectors we abandoned as too dangerous, Crack observed. The Void Nebula, the Chaos Fields, the Dead Stars region. How do your crews survive? Carter smiled. Humans evolved on a planet that tried to kill us daily. Earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, ice ages. We don't avoid danger, we adapt to it. Those regions you fear are now our strongest defensive positions. Commander, White added, we've established 17 colonies in the Void Nebula alone. Your species see hostile environments. We see opportunities. Asterisk. The truth was becoming clear to the galaxy. Humanity's rapid expansion wasn't just about numbers or technology. It was about mindset. Where other species sought comfort and safety, humans sought challenge and growth. On the newly built Colony 7 Memorial Station, Prime Minister Hayes met with representatives from dozens of smaller species who had been oppressed under the old council system. The beetles, barely a meter tall and considered worthless by the council, now found humans treating them as equals. Your engineering skills are remarkable, Hayes told the beetle representative. We'd like to offer you full partnership in our shipyard programs. The small being's antennae quivered with emotion. The council used us as maintenance slaves for 2,000 years. You offer us partnership after 6 months? We judge beings by their potential, not their appearance, Hayes replied. Besides, your people designed improvements to our engine systems that our engineers never imagined. This was happening across human space. Species the council had ignored or exploited were finding new purpose. Humans didn't conquer, they incorporated. They didn't dominate, they elevated. Asterisk. In the core homeworld's digital realm, human programmers worked alongside the machine race, sharing ideas that violated everything the council had taught about organic-synthetic interaction. The ancient cores, who had remained static for millennia, were evolving again. Your neural networks are chaotic, the core prime noted, analyzing human thought patterns. Yet this chaos creates solutions we cannot compute. Dr. Alan Foster, humanity's lead AI researcher, laughed. We call it intuition. Sometimes the illogical answer is the right one. Meanwhile, the minds, the telepathic race that had once considered human thoughts too primitive to bother reading, were discovering something extraordinary. Human minds, when united in purpose, created a psychic resonance that amplified beyond anything they'd encountered. When your species focuses on a single goal, the Mind Elder told Red, your collective consciousness becomes ... beautiful. Terrifying, but beautiful. The prisms, beings of living crystal who had existed since the galaxy's youth, found themselves fascinated by human art and music. Their representatives spent hours in human cultural centers, their crystalline form resonating with symphonies and changing colors with paintings. You create beauty from suffering, the prism noted. Your greatest art comes from your darkest moments. This is incomprehensible, yet magnificent. But not everyone was happy with the new order. In the shadowy corners of Unity Prime, the former Hunter Commander, War Master Grath, met with dissidents from various council species. The humans grow too powerful too fast, Grath growled. They've gained in months what took us millennia. A Dominion traditionalist agreed. They corrupt our pure systems with their chaos. Their emotional decisions will doom us all. Unknown to them, human intelligence was already aware of their meeting. But instead of crushing the dissent, humanity did something unexpected. They invited the dissidents to witness human colonies firsthand. War Master Grath found himself on New Haven, a human colony on a volcanic world. He watched human children playing near lava flows, protected by energy shields but unafraid. He saw human and alien species working together, not as masters and servants, but as equals. A human child, no more than 7 years old, walked up to the massive hunter warrior and offered him a flower. "My teacher says you were our enemy. But my mom says enemies can become friends. Want to be friends?" For the first time in his warrior life, Grath felt something other than rage or pride. He felt ... Hope. General Thompson, observing from the colony's command center, told Harade, "This is how humanity wins. Not through force alone, but by showing others what's possible when fear is replaced by understanding." 1 year after humanity's rise, the galaxy faced its greatest threat yet. A massive fleet of unknown origin emerged from dark space. The Devourers, a nomadic race that consumed entire civilizations. They had destroyed galaxies before this one, and now they had come here. The Council met in emergency session. The Dominion leader, his usual arrogance replaced by fear, studied the reports. 300 worlds already consumed. Their technology adapts to everything we throw at them. The Hunter representative, now humbled by recent events, added, "Our greatest war fleets were destroyed in minutes. These beings are beyond anything we faced." The prism's form flickered with distress. They consume not just resources, but the very essence of civilizations. Culture, knowledge, memories, all devoured. It was then that the true cost of the Council's treatment of humanity became clear. The human representative, Admiral Carter himself, stood to address them. "Humanity has analyzed the threat. We can stop them, but not alone. It will require complete unity, something the old Council never achieved because you ruled through fear." The core representative processed countless scenarios. Probability of victory with Council forces alone, 0%. With human leadership and full galactic cooperation, 47%. Those aren't good odds, the Mind's representative noted. Carter smiled grimly. "Humans have won with worse. But here's what you never understood about us. We don't fight just for ourselves. Colony 7 taught the galaxy that. When you destroyed our people, you expected us to seek revenge alone. Instead, we united every oppressed species. That unity is what will save us now." Prime Minister Hayes appeared via hologram from Earth's command center. The Council's greatest regret should not be underestimating humanity. It should be that you waited until catastrophe to see our value. Imagine if you had welcomed us as equals from the beginning. We could have prepared for this threat together. The Dominion leader's stone face cracked with something like shame. "We saw your violence and judged you dangerous. We never saw that your violence came from protecting what you loved. Every species brings something unique." Hayes continued. "The Dominion's strength, the Hunter's courage, the prison's wisdom, the core's logic, the Mind's unity, and humanity's adaptability. Apart, we fall. Together, we might survive." The Devourers struck at that moment. Their massive bioships entered the system, each one the size of a moon. Council defense fleets engaged and were swept aside like dust. But humanity had been preparing. From hidden positions throughout the system, human ships emerged, not just warships, but vessels of every kind. Mining ships turned into missile platforms. Trading vessels became shield generators. Even civilian transports joined the fight. All species, all ships, this is Admiral Carter. His voice echoed across every communication channel. "Today, we don't fight as Council and subordinates. We fight as one galaxy. Hunters, take the center. Show them your fury. Dominion, anchor our lines with your strength. Prisms, coordinate our energy weapons. Cores, manage our tactical networks. Minds, link us all as one consciousness." And then Carter said something that defined humanity forever. "And humans will do what we do best. We'll do the impossible." The battle was beyond anything the galaxy had witnessed. The Beetles, those tiny engineers the Council had dismissed, had modified human shields to resist Devourer weapons. The gas dwellers that lived in Jupiter-like worlds emerged with compression weapons that crushed Devourer armor. Every species humanity had befriended brought something unexpected. In the midst of chaos, human creativity shone. When Devourer adaptation made energy weapons useless, humans rammed them with ships filled with ancient nuclear weapons. Primitive, by galactic standards, but impossible for the Devourers to adapt quickly. When shields failed, human pilots flew manual attack runs that no computer could calculate. The turning point came when a young human pilot, Lieutenant James Park, discovered the Devourer's weakness. They consumed everything, but they couldn't consume chaos itself. Human battle plans that changed every second, tactics that made no logical sense, strategies that seemed suicidal but worked. These broke the Devourer's ability to adapt. "They're retreating," the mine's representative announced, barely believing their senses. As the Devourer fleet fled back to dark space, the galaxy stood united for the first time in its history. The Council looked at the casualty reports, hundreds of thousands dead, but billions saved. The Hunter War Master Graf, who had once destroyed Colony 7, now missing an arm from defending human civilians, spoke into the silence. The Council's regret came too late for Colony 7, but not too late for the galaxy. Hayes, standing among the ruins of Earth's defeated but not broken defensive fleet, made the announcement that would echo through history. The old Council is dissolved. In its place, we form the Galactic Alliance. Not rulers and subjects, but equals. Not despite our differences, but because of them. Ambassador Reed, wounded but standing in the damaged council chambers, added the words that became the Alliance's motto. Humanity's wrath filled the skies not with vengeance, but with determination. We didn't come to conquer the stars. We came to unite them. The galaxy had learned humanity's greatest secret. Their power came not from their weapons or their numbers, but from their ability to see potential where others saw weakness, to find family where others saw strangers, and to choose hope when faced with despair. The Council's regret had indeed come too late to prevent humanity's wrath. But humanity's mercy had come just in time to save them all. Asterisk.